What an impetuous boy he is. I must enter his proposal in my diary.
Miss Fairfax has just got to see Mr. Wildean.
Pray ask the lady to come out here, and you can bring tea.
Yes, miss.
Miss Fairfax, I suppose one of the many good elderly women who are associated with Uncle Jack in some of his philanthropic work in London. I don't quite like women who are interested in philanthropic work. I think it is so forward.
Miss Fairfax.
Pray let me introduce myself to you. My name is Cecily Cardew.
Cecily Cardew, what a very sweet name. Something tells me that we are going to be great friends. I like you already more than I can tell, and my first impressions of people are never wrong.
How nice of you to like me so much after we have known each other such a comparatively short time. Pray sit down.
I may call you Cecily, may I not?
With pleasure,
And you will always call me Gwendolyn, won't you?
if you wish.
Then that is all quite settled, is it not?
I hope so.
Perhaps I should mention who I am. My father is Lord Bracknell. You have never heard of Papa, I suppose.
Oh no, I don't think so.
And you are here on a short visit?
No, I live here. My dear guardian, with the assistance of Miss Pearson, has the arduous task of looking after me.
Your guardian?
Yes, I'm Mr. Worthing's ward.
It is strange he never mentioned to me that he had a ward. I'm very fond of you, Cecily. I have liked you ever since I met you. But now that I know that you are Mr. Worthing's ward, I cannot help expressing a wish you were, well, just a little bit older and more plain for your age. In fact, if I may speak candidly,
Pray do. I think that whenever one has anything unpleasant to say, one should always be quite candid.
well, to speak with perfect candor, I wish you were fully 42 and more plain for your age. Ernest has a strong, upright nature, but even the men of the highest possible moral character are extremely susceptible to the physical charms of others.
I beg your pardon, Gwendolyn. Did you say Ernest?
Yes,
Oh, but it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is my guardian. It is his brother, his elder brother.
he never mentioned to me that he had a brother.
Oh, I'm sorry to say they have not been on good terms for a long time.
Well, that accounts for it. Cecily, you have lifted a load from my mind. I was growing almost anxious. But you are quite sure that it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is your guardian.
Quite sure. In fact, I'm going to be his.
I beg your pardon?
Dearest Gwendolyn, there is no reason why I should make of it a secret to you. Mr. Worthing and I are engaged to be married.
I feel there is some slight error, Miss Cardew. Mr. Worthing and I are engaged. The announcement will appear on Saturday at the latest.
I'm afraid you must be under some misconception. Ernest proposed to me exactly 10 minutes ago.
Well, it is certainly very curious, as he asked me to be his wife yesterday afternoon at 5:30. I'm so sorry, dear Cecily, if it is any disappointment to you, but I'm afraid I have the prior claim.
It would distress me more than I can tell you, dear Gwendolyn, if it caused you any mental or physical anguish. But I feel bound to point out that since Ernest proposed to me, he has clearly changed his mind.
Oh, if the poor fellow has been entrapped into any foolish promise, I shall consider it my duty to rescue him at once and with a firm hand.
Whatever unfortunate entanglement my dear boy may have got into, I will never reproach him with it after we are married.
Do you allude to me, Miss Cardew, as an entanglement? You are presumptuous.
Do you suggest, Miss Fairfax, that I entrapped Ernest into an engagement? How dare you?
Shall I wait you here as usual, miss?
Yes, as usual. May I offer you some tea, Miss Fairfax?
Detestable girl. I require tea.
Sugar?
No, thank you. Sugar is not fashionable anymore.
Cake or bread and butter?
Bread and butter, please. Cake is rarely seen at the best households nowadays. You have filled my tea with lumps of sugar. And though I ask most distinctly for bread and butter, you have given me cake. I am known for the gentleness of my disposition and the sweetness of my nature. But I warn you, Miss Cardew, you may go too far.
To save my poor, innocent, trusting boy from the machinations of any other girl, there are no lengths to which I would not go.
Ernest, my own Ernest.
Gwendolyn, darling.
Wait a moment. May I ask you if you are engaged to this young lady?
To dear little Cecily? Of course not. What could have put such an idea into your pretty little head?
I knew there must be some misunderstanding, Miss Fairfax. The gentleman who is standing next to you is my guardian, Mr. John Wildean.
John.
Here is Ernest.
My own love.
A moment, Ernest. May I ask you, are you engaged to be married to this young lady?
What young lady?
Good heavens. Gwendolyn?
Yes, to good heavens, Gwendolyn.
Of course not.
You may.
I felt there was some slight error, Miss Cardew. This young gentleman who is now embracing you is my cousin, Mr. Algernon Moncrief.
Algernon Moncrief? Oh, are you called Algernon?
I cannot deny it.
Is your name really John?
I could deny anything if I liked, but my name certainly is John.
Gross deception has been practiced on both of us.
My poor wounded Cecily.
My sweet wronged Gwendolyn. There's just one more thing I would like to be allowed to ask my guardian.
An excellent idea. Mr. Wildean, where is your brother Ernest?
Gwendolyn, Cecily, it is very hard to me to be forced to speak the truth. I have no brother at all. I never had a brother in my life.
No brother at all.
None.
Well, I think it is quite clear now, Cecily, that neither of us is engaged to be married to anyone.
I can see no possible defense at all for you deceiving a clever, thoroughly experienced young lady like Miss Fairfax, to say nothing of the fact that she is my cousin.
I wanted to be engaged to Gwendolyn, that is all. I love her.
Well, I simply wanted to be engaged to Cecily. I adore her.
There is no chance of you marrying Miss Cardew.
I don't think there is much likelihood, Jack, of you and Miss Fairfax being ever united.
Well, that is no business of yours. Algie, I wish to goodness you would go.
I haven't quite finished my tea yet.
The fact that they did not follow us to the house, as anyone else would have done, seems to show to me they have some sense of shame left.
They have been eating muffins. That looks like repentance.
They don't seem to notice us at all. Couldn't you cough?
But I haven't got a cough.
They are looking at us.
They're approaching.
We will not be the first to speak.
Certainly, it's the only thing to do now.
We will remain in dignified silence.
Certainly.
Mr. Worthing, there is something very particular I would like to ask you.
Gwendolen, your common sense is invaluable. Mr. Moncrief, kindly answer me the following question. Why did you pretend to be my guardian's brother?
In order that I might have an opportunity of meeting you.
It certainly seems a satisfactory explanation, does it not?
Yes, dear, if you can believe him.
I don't. But that does not affect the wonderful beauty of his answer.
True. Mr. Worthing, what explanation can you offer to me for pretending to have a brother? Was it because you wanted to spend more time with me?
Can you doubt it, Miss Fairfax?
Oh, I have the gravest doubts upon the subject, but I intend to crush them. Their explanations appear to be quite satisfactory.
I'm more than content with what Mr. Moncrief said.
Do you think we should forgive them?
Yes, no.
True, I had forgotten. There are principles at stake that one cannot surrender. But which of us should tell them?
Could we not both speak at the same time?
An admirable idea.
Your Christian names are still an insuperable barrier, that is all.
Our Christian names, is that all? But we are going to be Christian this afternoon.
For my sake, you are prepared to do this terrible thing?
I am.
To please me, you are ready to face this fearful ordeal?
I am.
Oh, how absurd to talk about the equality of sexes when the questions of self-sacrifice are concerned. Men are infinitely beyond us.
We are!
Lady Bracknell.
Good heavens.
Gwendolen, what does this mean?
Merely that I'm engaged with Mr. Worthing, Mama.
Come here, sit down. Of course, you will clearly understand that all communication between yourself and my daughter must cease immediately from this moment.
I'm engaged to be married to Gwendolyn, Lady Bracknell.
You are nothing of the kind, sir. And now as regards Algernon. Algernon,
Yes, Aunt Augusta?
may I ask if it is in this house that your invalid friend, Mr. Bumpery, resides?
Oh no, Bumper is dead.
Dead. Mr. Worthing, may I ask, who is that young person whose hand my nephew Algernon is now holding in what seems to me peculiarly unnecessary manner?
That lady is Miss Cecily Cardew, my ward.
We are engaged to be married with Cecily, Aunt Augusta.
I beg your pardon. Mr. Moncrief and I are engaged, Lady Bracknell. I do not know whether there is anything peculiarly exciting in the air of this particular part of Hertfordshire, but the number of engagements that go on seem to me considerably above the proper average that the statistic had laid down upon our guidance. Mr. Worthing, is Miss Cardew connected with any of the larger railway stations in London?
Miss Cardew is the granddaughter of the late Mr. Thomas Cardew.
That does not seem unsatisfactory.
How extremely kind of you. I have also in my possession, you will be pleased to hear, certificates of Miss Cardew's birth, baptism, whooping cough, registration, vaccination, confirmation, and the measles, both the German and the English variety.
As a matter of fact, I had better ask you if Miss Cardew has any little fortune.
Oh, about £130,000 in the funds. That is all. Goodbye, Lady Bracknell. So pleased to have seen you.
A moment. £130,000. Miss Cardew seems to me a most attractive young lady now that I look at her. Algernon,
Yes, Aunt Augusta?
there are distinct social possibilities in Miss Cardew's profile.
Cecily is the dearest, sweetest, prettiest girl in the whole world, and I don't care twopence about social possibilities.
Never speak disrespectfully of society, Algernon. Only people who can't get into it do that. Dear child, of course you know that Algernon has nothing but his debts to depend upon. But I suppose I must give my consent.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
I beg your pardon, Lady Bracknell, for interrupting you, but it is only quite fair to tell you that according to the terms of her grandfather's will, Miss Cardew does not come legal of age till she's 35.
Upon what grounds, may I ask? Algernon is an extremely eligible young man. He has nothing, but he looks everything. What more can one desire?
It hurts me very much, Aunt Augusta, to speak frankly about your nephew, but I do not approve of his moral character. I suspect him of being untruthful.
Untruthful, my nephew Algernon.
I fear there can be no possible doubt about the matter. This afternoon, he obtained admission to my house by means of the false pretense of being my brother.
Mr. Worthing, after careful consideration, I have decided to entirely overlook my nephew's conduct too. You're welcome.
That is very generous of you, Lady Bracknell. However, I decline to give my consent.
Come here, child. How old are you? Well, I'm really only 18, but I always admit to 20 when I go to evening parties. You are perfectly right in making some slight alteration. Indeed, no woman should be quite accurate about her age.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, Lady Bracknell, again, but it is only fair to tell you that according to the terms of her grandfather's will, Miss Cardew does not come legal of age till she's 35.
That does not seem to me to be a grave objection. Algie, could you wait for me till I was 35?
Of course I could, Cecily. You know I could.
I knew it instinctively, but I couldn't wait all that time. I hate waiting even 5 minutes for anybody.
Then what is it to be done, Cecily?
I don't know, Mr. Moncrief. Mr. Worthing, as Miss Cardew states positively that she cannot wait till she's 35, I would beg of you to reconsider your decision.
But my dear Lady Bracknell, the matter is entirely in your own hands. The moment you consent to my marriage with Gwendolyn, I'll most gladly allow your nephew to form an alliance with my lord.
You surely realize that what you propose is out of the question.
Everything is quite ready for the christenings.
The christenings, sir, is that not somewhat premature?
Both these gentlemen have expressed a desire for immediate baptism.
At their age, Algernon, I forbid you to be baptized.
Am I to understand that there are to be no christenings at all this afternoon?
I don't think that, as things are now, it would be of much practical value to either of us, Dr. Chasuble.
I'm grieved to hear such sentiments from you, Mr. Worthing. However, as your current mood seems to be one peculiarly secular, I shall return to the church at once. In fact, I've just been informed by the peer that Miss Prism has been waiting for me for the last hour and a half in the vestry.
Miss Prism, did I hear you mention a Miss Prism?
Yes, Lady Bracknell, I'm on my way to join her.
Pray allow me to detain you for a moment. Is this Miss Prism a female of repellent aspect, remotely connected with education?
She's the most cultivated of ladies, and the very picture of respectability.
It is obviously the same person. May I ask which position she holds in your household?
I am a celibate, madam.
Miss Prism, Lady Bracknell, has been for the last 3 years Miss Cardew's esteemed governess and valued companion.
In spite of what I hear of her, I must see her at once. Let her be sent for.
She approaches. She's nigh.
I was told you expected me in the vestry, dear Danon. I was waiting for you there for an hour and 3/4.
Prism. Come here, Prism. 28 years ago, Prism, you left Lord Bracknell's house in the charge of a preambulator that contained a baby, but you never returned. A few weeks later, through the elaborate investigations of the Metropolitan Police, the preambulator was discovered standing by itself in a remote corner of Bayswater. It contained a manuscript of a 3-volume novel of more than revolting sentimentality, but the baby was not there. Where is the baby?
Lady Bracknell, I admit with shame that I do not know. I only wish I did. The plain facts of the case are these. On the morning of the day you mentioned, a day that is forever branded on my memory, I prepared as usual to take the baby out in its preambulator. I had also with me a somewhat old but capacious bag in which I intended to place a manuscript of a work of fiction that I had written during my few unoccupied hours. Then, in a moment of mental abstraction, for which I will never forgive myself, I deposited the manuscript in the bassinet and placed the baby in the bag.
But where did you deposit the bag?
I left it in the cloakroom of one of the larger railway stations in London.
What railway station?
Victoria, the Brighton line.
I must retire to my room for a moment.
What do you think this means, Lady Bracknell?
I dare not even suspect of Uncle Jack seems strangely agitated.
Your guardian has a very emotional nature.
This suspense is terrible. I hope it will last.
Is this the bag, Miss Prism? Examine it carefully before you speak. The happiness of more than one life depends on your answer.
It seems to be mine. Here, on the lining, is a stain caused by an explosion of temperance beverage, an incident that occurred at Leamington. And here, on the lock, are my initials.
Miss Prism, more is restored to you than this bag. I was the baby you placed in it.
You?
Yes, mother.
Mr. Worthing, I am unmarried.
Unmarried? Cannot repentance wipe out an act of folly? Why should there be one law for men and another for women? Mother, I forgive you.
Mr. Worthing, there is some error. There is the lady who can tell you who you really are.
Lady Bracknell, I hate to seem inquisitive, but would you kindly inform me who I am?
You are the son of my poor sister, Mrs. Moncrief, and consequently, Algernon's elder brother.
Algy's elder brother? Then I have a brother after all. I knew I had a brother. I always said I had a brother. Cecily, how could you have ever doubted that I had a brother?
My own. But what is your name now that you have become someone else?
Good heavens, I had quite forgotten that point. Your decision on the subject of my name is irrevocable, I suppose.
I never change, except in my affections.
What a noble nature you have, Gwendolen.
Well, then the problem had better be cleared up at once. Aunt Augusta, a moment. At the time when Miss Prism left me in the bag, had I been christened already?
Every luxury that money could buy, including christening, had been lavished to you by your fond and doting parents.
Then I was christened, that is settled. Now, what name was I given? Let me know the worst.
I do not at the present moment recall what the General's Christian name was, but I have no doubt he had one.
Algy, can't you recollect what our father's Christian name was?
My dear boy, we were never even on speaking terms. He died before I was a year old.
His name would appear in the armistice of the period, I suppose, Aunt Augusta.
Yes. I now remember that the General's Christian name was Ernest. I knew I had some particular reason for disliking the name.
Ernest, my own Ernest. I felt from the first time I met you that you could have no other name.
Gwendolyn, it is a terrible thing for a man to find out suddenly that all his life he has been speaking nothing but the truth. Can you forgive me?
Yes, yes, I can.
Letitia,
Frederick, at last.
Cecily, at last.
Gwendolyn, at last.
My nephew, you seem to be displaying signs of triviality.
On the contrary, Aunt Augusta, I've now realized for the first time in my life the vital importance of being earnest.